Going. 1, 2, 3. Check, check,
One,
check.
2, 3. We're all happy. Gonna talk about brakes. Slow us down. Make us stop so we don't go off a cliff and get hurt. Hello, I'm Carl, and this is Tech Talk. We're coming from the world headquarters of ProCycle, where we're going to have a subject today that all of you have been asking about, and it's something that we're going to get some clear definition to you. We're going to talk about brakes, what brake rotors, what brake pads, what brake lines do for your bike. And let's start with what a stock rotor looks like. Stock rotors that come from the factory aren't really the biggest. This is a front rotor off of a TW200. Kind of puny by any definition, and this brake rotor needs to be greatly improved. So this is something we created. We worked with the great folks over at Warp 9 to get a proper brake rotor for the TW200, and we'll tell you more about that in a minute. We're going to talk about the 3 stages of brakes, though. We've got brake rotors, brake lines, and brake pads. What the factory comes with is the rubber lines. They've got nice stainless steel fittings on the ends, but the lines themselves are rubber. And then we've got standard brake pads on it. We've got a real nice quality stainless steel disc brake from the factory. All these can be improved. And when we do these 3 stages in improving, the first stage, what's going to do the lion's share of improvement is going to be the brake line. We get a brake line that's made out of stainless steel, the nice braided stainless steel over a nice Teflon line inside, prevents it from expanding. If you were to take your stock brake line and you just kind of pinch it while you pull that front brake lever, you'll feel this swell up in your fingers. The stock brake line, you feel it and it swells up. That's pressure expanding the line. That is not pressure that's being applied to your brakes. And that is the weak spot. Getting a stainless steel brake line, when you put it on and you press it, you feel nothing. All that pressure, all that control goes to the brake pads. The brake pads are grabbing the rotor, giving you much better stopping power, a lot more control, and the feedback is phenomenal with stainless steel brake lines. You know exactly what's going on. They actually add better quality braking throughout, from light braking to panic braking to trail braking, anything in between. A stainless steel brake line is a must-have for improved braking. Next, we'll talk about rotors. And the stock rotors that come on the bike are usually a one-piece stainless steel rotor. They work okay. They're made to last a long time, but the improvement is going to something that's a better quality still, has a little bit more carbon content to it, so it holds the heat better. It definitely absorbs and gives you a little better friction and gives you better braking. The idea is, obviously, we could say this is the upgraded size for the TW200. This is a stock DR650 front brake rotor, stock size, quality improvement. And you can see, here is the brake rotor size of a TW. TW stock, TW went to this size, 280 millimeters is what we created. And so you can think of it when your brake caliper grabs this, the brake pads grab it, you can think of it like leverage. How much leverage does it have? Think of it like with a breaker bar. You take a breaker bar and you're trying to get that axle nut off. A little bit longer breaker bar is going to be a little bit easier work, allow you to apply a lot more pressure. That's what happens when we use a little bit bigger rotor. You're getting a little more leverage. We're creating a little better bite and getting that leverage out there. Plus, it's going to take the heat and spin it out a little bit more, allow it time to get cool, and better cooling features with the bigger brake rotor. So going to an upgraded brake rotor is a huge improvement. The other thing that's a great improvement is stock brake discs are one piece. Going to a floater where it's a center carrier held on with buttons to a brake blade on the outside, the actual rotor itself allows that to float a little bit. We have that in like the Warp 9, we have it in the Galfers, we have it in the EBCs as well, and that centerpiece stays firm onto the hub. This allows a little bit of brake to float. The rotor floats a little bit. What's actually happening when you're applying the brake and those brake pads are touching? One side's going to grab a little bit sooner than the other side, probably like 1/10 of a millimeter, something minor, but it's going to grab that brake rotor on one side or the other a little bit sooner than the other pad contacts. And if your brake rotor didn't float, and sometimes the brake calipers you see have a little bit of float, it's going to push on the one side first before the piston presses the brake pad in the other side. Again, small amount, but that's what causes the warpage on the brake disc. That's what's caused the bad feedback and the overheating and the excessive wear on your brake pad. So getting a quality brake rotor that's floating is a huge improvement for longevity and, again, feedback and much better control and with keeping it without overheating. So that's a good thing to take a look at as well, getting a better quality brake rotor. Next on the line, we're talking about brake pads. Brake pads, they all look the same, but they're made of different compounds, different quality products. The stock ones from any manufacturer designed to last a long time, they do a real good job, but the better quality brake pads to go to is going to be the sintered. They have a little better carbon metallic in there, and the idea is they heat up and they grab well. They work great hot, cold, wet, dry, doesn't matter. We like the quality of control from the sintered brake pads, and we got those from a few manufacturers. That's the way to go. That's the better quality brake pad for all-around riding. They're not going to last 50,000 miles. They're only going to last maybe 40,000 miles, something like that. The OEM ones last a long time. These go away, just like I said, a little bit quicker, but the quality of control is absolutely worth it. You want that on your bike. Next is bleeding the brakes. We've got a couple bleeding tools, and it always takes 3 hands to bleed a brake system on the bike. You put on your new line. We're going to clean and rebuild the caliper or the brake master cylinder. We've got brake tools that make this job easier. We've got both from Motion Pro. They're a quality product. This would fit on the top. It's got a little wrench handle you could turn to open it up, and that allows the brake fluid to go out, and you can see as the bubbles escape and you become good, clean brake fluid coming through again, you know to lock it in and you're in good shape. The other one, which is a real quality product from Motion Pro, is a one-way check valve inside. You would put this on again on your brake caliper nipple, open up the nipple, and as you pump it, it pumps fluid out. You don't need that third hand. You could use this one all by yourself, and you could bleed the brake system. Then when you see the clean fluid come in again, no bubbles, shut it off, remove this. It's good to use it time and time again. So that's a high-quality brake tool for bleeding the brake systems you're going to want. Hey, as always, want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up and like us and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And remember, your adventure begins here.